Another Ramadan TV series is refreshed by Coca-Cola and nourished by cowbell Eva
and Checkers Custard.
In Ramadan, we are all connected. We all have the same empathy towards one another. We all feel the same rush to catch that moment of iftar and walk into the same special home-cooked meals. Every Ramadan, we are one when we fast, but not always when we break fast. This Ramadan, let's be one when sharing iftar. Sharing makes us one. Coca-Cola, real wonder.
Minister for Enjoyment is what everyone calls me because I love to enjoy myself.
So creamy. So good.
Enjoyment Minister, can we get back to the meeting?
Sorry.
Cowbell evaporated milk is delicious milk that is carefully formulated to retain its creaminess and great taste.
Even hubby loves the creamy taste.
So creamy.
So good.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back again. It's another Ramadan TV series, and today we'll still be discussing Islam and etiquette. There's so much more to be covered on this topic, so we're going to go right into reading the Holy Quran. I mean, there are key etiquette as well regarding reading the Holy Quran. Let's talk about that very briefly. Assalamu alaikum, Ustaz.
Assalamu warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for saving us upon goodness. We pray continue to keep us steadfast upon His good path. Our Quran, there's no doubt, is a sacred book, and we are in the month of Quran. Because Ramadan is the month of Quran, when Quran was revealed. And one of the best and the most virtuous, of deed is recitation of Quran. So, in Islam, one of the ways of maximizing this period is by reciting Quran. However, there are certain etiquette or manners that are expected from a person who wants to recite Quran. So, reciting Quran, despite the amount of reward attached to reciting Quran, Prophet said that whoever recites a letter, we have 10 rewards. What does that mean? It means that if you are able to read just Alhamdu is about 5 letters. It means you have earned yourself into 50 rewards. You have 5 letters, that is 10 times 5. So imagine if you are able to read a chapter, but there's need for you to display the manners expected when you are about to read Quran or when you are reading Quran. The first thing is that for the manners required for reciting Quran is that a person should be in state of purity, state of cleanliness. Because Quran is a pure book, it's a clean book, holy book. So Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Islam enjoins us to be in the state of purity. Allah says, La yamassuhu illa al-mutahharun. So those who hold Quran should be pure and clean. So another thing is being clean means that you have to perform ablution. So you perform ablution. So that means that you want to be serious with the business, because as a business you want to connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because reciting Quran is a way of bringing yourself closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So then using chewing stick is also recommended. You have to brush your mouth before you can also use your normal toothbrush. So to brush your mouth before reciting Quran. Then you also ensure to hold your Quran with your right hand. Yes, you also ensure to hold your Quran with your right hand. Then when you want to recite, you give full concentration. So you can't be reciting Quran and be getting distracted, unnecessarily. So you are reciting Quran at the same time, you are playing with people at the same time, you are involving in all irrelevant things. So it's a saving course. So you have to be what you have to show that adab, that manner with Allah subhanahu, because you are reading the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So and you want to be rewarded. So then you need to be in a perfect manner to connect with your God. So another thing is that before you start reading Quran, you need to say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. That is the way of seeking Allah's protection against the evil of shaitan. You don't just start Quran and say Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. You start with A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Then you go on with whatever verse or chapter you want to recite. Then always sit properly. So even if you are lying down, you can also recite Quran when lying down or while sitting, but just make sure you are in a very good position.
There's another part of that conversation which you raised about, the touching the Holy Quran. There's always this, conversation around it, that there are certain people that cannot touch the Holy Quran, that cannot carry the Holy Quran. Yes. Can we dwell a little bit on that?
Is that I think even about the reading. So it is important we also remind ourselves that it is not good to be reciting Quran the way you sing. So Quran is not a melody. So you don't read Quran. No, it is not. Quran is not a song. So you have to recite it in the way it's being recited. So Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Everything has its own standard and manner of doing it. That is it. So then, regarding those that cannot touch Quran, yes, of course, we mentioned that a person should be in a state of cleanliness, and a woman that is in period of his menstruation, so cannot touch Quran. So cannot touch Quran. And the same thing, a person who is in the state of a man who has have just had sexual intercourse can also touch Quran until they become pure. Yes, yes. So you might have to take the ritual bath before he can take Quran, or she can take Quran. Yeah. Yes. And another thing is that a woman who is also having the childbirth, bleeding, so can also during that period he can also touch Quran, but he can read Quran from the mind. He can read Quran from the mind. Although scholars say that a person who has just had sexual intercourse, a person who has just had sexual intercourse cannot even read from the mind. Because the person can just go to the bedroom to take his ritual bath. Unlike the person who is having his menstruation, because that has a specific period of days to observe it. So maybe 6 or 7 days. But you have had sexual intercourse, you can just go into the bedroom and have your ritual bath. So then you become pure, then you can read Quran. So as for women who are not pure due to their nature, so they cannot touch Quran, but they can read it from the mind. Yes, so from the memory. And if it is a must that they touch Quran, then they must not touch the Quran directly. They can only touch the cover of the Quran via maybe a glove or something. That is, the skin of the hand must not touch the Quran.
Another thing I want to ask, in this age of technology, we have a lot of apps that have the Quran in them that you can just open your phone. And we have Muslim phone, we have a lot of them. Yeah. You can just open your phone and start, reading from chapters of the Quran and all of that. How does that relate to these exemptions? Because if it's a physical Quran, you cannot touch. But if you have your phone, you can read, you are not having to touch. How do we reconcile those two?
The ruling concerning the hard copy of Quran, the one that you can touch as a book, is not the same as the ruling regarding the Quran that we have in our phones. So they are not the same, because that is called mushaf. So the one you have in your phone, there are so many things that it's not really the same with the Quran that can be touched. So that's it. And that's why scholars say that if you are going into the toilet, but the toilet is a filthy place, so it is not also allowed to go into the toilet with that phone. But if if for safety reason, so if you know that there is no way you cannot keep your phone in a safety place, or that if you should put it outside the toilet to be able to it may be stolen, so you have to go into the toilet with your phone. So another thing is that reading Quran, although we are reading Quran from our phone, right, from the one we have on the phone, right, but it does not take the same ruling with the hard copy of Quran that it is called the Mus'haf.
So if I get you correctly, even a woman in menstruation can read Quran from the phone.
Yes, well, yeah, from the phone.
But it cannot touch the Quran.
Quran, yes.
So reading at that point in time, I mean, reading from the phone and reading from the physical book of the holy book.
Yeah.
In terms of reward, can we say it's the same reward?
Yeah, they're the same.
Oh.
Yeah, they're the same. So, but it is better to read from the
physical book.
Quran, yeah.
So again, on reward of reading the Holy Quran, sometimes for some people, especially that do not know how to read the Quran, but love to listen, you can actually listen to the recitation, even if you cannot read. So is the reward equal to the person that is reading? Can we say the reward
you can't
is
say
same?
the reward is you cannot equal the reward of those who can read Quran, so their reward cannot be equal to those who cannot read. So that is just the fact. Because as you read Quran, you will get the reward directly. You get the reward directly. But we also hope that you have reward by listening to Quran. Yes, of course you have reward by listening to Quran.
You are still connected.
Yes. But it's not as the person who is reading directly from. That is why it is basically required for every Muslim to be able to read Quran. Yeah, that's even if you are not committing the whole Quran into your memory, you should be able to read a few parts of the.
It's just like Quran. When you are giving somebody mark.
Yes.
The one that is listening is maybe 3/10. But you are reading from the holy. You are reading. You have like 10/10. So who doesn't want to maximize the benefit? So a whole lot to take in. A whole lot to take in. I'm sure you're following us and you are picking a thing or two from this conversation and learning all the way, to be better Muslims. Etiquette in Islam is a whole lot. We still have not covered much with this conversation, but we will still be back on some of those, important etiquettes that we still need to pay attention to. Please don't go away. We're still on another Ramadan TV series. We still have a lot of other segments to cover. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, Alinuhu.
Yes?
I fit get selfie from you.
No wala.
Thank you.
Checkers custard?
Yes.
Wow.
Cut.
Shebi you know say I be king and I dey enjoy quality things. And if na custard, na Checkers custard be the choice for my house and for my family. Why you not try am today? Checkers custard dey for different flavors like vanilla, chocolate, banana and the milk. Get your own for that shop wey near your house abi market everywhere. Checkers, the rich flavor and creamy custard.
Minister for Enjoyment is what everyone calls me because I love to enjoy myself.
So creamy. So good.
Enjoyment Minister, can we get back to the meeting?
Sorry. Cowbell evaporated milk is delicious milk that is carefully formulated to retain its creaminess and great taste.
Even hubby loves the creamy taste.
So creamy.
So good.
I want to welcome you to this beautiful show called Another Ramadan, which is about storytelling of the Prophet, Quran and Hadith. I'm super excited to be on this show, so Khalida and Camila, come join me.
Are you with me? So Bilal, how did Prophet Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam put the animals together in the ark?
In pairs.
In pairs, so male and female. So when he started the journey, it was so unfortunate that his son was not part of those who believed in him, and his wife too. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referred to them as being disbelieved in the preaching of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. And that's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rescued those who believe in Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, and those who did not believe got perished in the what? In the flood. And Prophet Nuh alayhi salam continued his journey on the what? On the heavy flood. On why they are in the ark, right? Why the rain continued to fall. So, what question do you have?
How many years did the rain last?
The rain actually don't have the specific days for the when the rain lasts. So, but he continued to go on the journey until the time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the sign of where to stop and the sign of the destination, and he stopped at a place called Mount Judy. Do you have any question? Not up to a year. I said we do not have any reliable narration as regard the days the rain fell. That's it. So what's the question?
Why did Prophet Nuh marry the wife when she was not to be?
MashaAllah, that's a very good question. Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, because we said Prophet Nuh's wife was among those who disbelieved in his prophethood and messengership, what he came to preach to them, right? He married her when he has not started preaching to them, right? So when he started preaching to them as a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he preached to, of course, his wife was among his people too. So he started preaching to them so as to believe in Allah, but his wife did not believe in him. As a result, she was among those who got perished in the flood. So now, what can tell me one or two lessons derived in the story of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam? MashaAllah, go on.
That we should be very patient with people.
We should always be very patient, because Prophet Nuh alayhi salam was patient with his people, and he was in fact so polite to them while he was preaching to them. What other lesson? Come again? That we should accept. What that means, that we should always believe in the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is, when we see a person preaching to us about God, as far as the person is not telling us that what he's saying is from him, right? So what Nuh alayhi wasalam was saying, was it from him or from Allah? From Allah. So he was preaching to them based on what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired to him, right? So, and disbelieve in me. So it is good to what? To be obedient to Allah. That's good. Another lesson? Correct. We should always listen to the prophet, because without the prophet, without believing in the prophet, we cannot really know about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We cannot know how to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala correctly. So all we are doing today, we learn them through the prophet. So the act of worship we are doing, the salat, the psalm, every act of worship we are doing today, we are being taught by who? By the prophet and messengers of Allah. That is it. Very good. Bilal, you have any lesson to tell us?
Never disrespect Allah.
Do never disrespect Allah. Yes, those who disrespect Allah are those who do not believe in Allah. Let me tell you that, like I mentioned, that the basic reason why Allah sent all the prophets was to tell people, to guide them on how to worship Allah. Is that okay? So in other words, Prophet Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, the lesson, the most important lesson is that we should not associate any partner with Allah, and we should
the meaning of associate?
Very good question. Meaning of associating a partner with Allah is that believing in Allah as the God and at the same time believing in other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning for protection, for instance, you must believe that the only person that protects is who? Allah. You must not believe in any charm or any people that can protect you except who? Allah. And as for act of worship too, you must not worship anything by putting by bowing or prostrating before anyone other than who? Allah. So that is what is meant by what? Associating a partner with Allah. You have some people, they believe in Allah, but they also believe in other things besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here, inshallah, we'll be running off the story, and I would like to ask you one or two questions about the story so far. So I have few questions for you. And I would like Ania to answer the first question. How many years did Prophet Noah spend among his people? I can't hear. Can you speak up? Did you say 150 years or 950 years? Correct. He spent 950 years. What was the instruction given to Noah by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when Noah realized that his people did not accept his preaching? Jasina. MashaAllah, it was asked to build an ark, and the ark is known as Ark of what? Ark of salvation. So it will be a way of getting rescued from the flood that the people who did not believe in him perish in. So another question, and that will be the final question, the last question. So Bilal, I want you to answer the question. What was the reaction of the people of Noah while he was building the ark? They were insulting him. That is very correct. Calling him a carpenter. MashaAllah. I hope you guys love the story of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. Yes. MashaAllah. So here we are going to call it a day. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase you in beneficial knowledge and understanding. Can't you say Ameen? Ameen. MashaAllah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
In Ramadan, we are all connected. We all have the same empathy towards one another. We all feel the same rush to catch that moment of iftar and walk into the same special home-cooked meals. Every Ramadan, we are one when we fast, but not always when we break fast. This Ramadan, let's be one when sharing iftar. Sharing makes us one. Coca-Cola, real wonder.
Ramadan Kareem to my Muslim brothers and sisters. Welcome to another episode of the kitchen segment of another Ramadan TV series. I still remain your chef IBK. And today we're going to be preparing stir-fry pasta. And I have with me my sausage, green onions, carrots, onions, groundnut oil, seasoning, green pepper, and scotch bonnet. I'm going to add a little bit of groundnut oil. Now I'm adding my onions. Now because this meal is stir fry, all we're going to be doing is stirring and frying most of our ingredients. I'm just going to allow the onions fry for a bit. To add my scotch bonnet. Now I'm going to be adding in my veg. I almost forgot my hot dog. So I'm supposed to add my hot dog in before my vegetables because I want them to cook for a bit. I'm not going to be adding in everything. I'm just going to allow this to fry for a bit before I add the veg. Now I can see the hot dogs are coming out nicely. so I can start adding in my vegetables. So I'm starting with my carrots. I'm not going to add everything into it. And then my green pepper. I'm just going to stir in because all we are doing is stir fry. Now you might want your vegetables to cook for a bit longer than the usual minutes, but I like my vegetables crunchy, so I'm not going to leave them on for a long period of time. It's just for a while. Curry, salt. Like I mentioned earlier, I already parboiled my pasta, so I'm just going to be adding in the pasta. This is it. Now my stir-fry pasta is ready to be served, and I didn't prepare protein because I have protein prepared earlier, so I'm just going to serve it with my pasta. Our stir-fry pasta is ready, and you can enjoy this with chilled drink, juice, or even any of the smoothie recipes we have been trying out on this segment. Do have a veg-full iftar.
Alhamdulillah, we've come to the end of today's episode. As usual, I will ask you, I hope it's been fulfilling for you. I hope it's been exciting. I hope it's been spiritually, connecting for you as Muslims. So go out there and be better Muslims. Go out there and show the beauty of Islam from everything that you have learned so far. So we're coming back tomorrow on this same station and, time. So join us and let's keep, learning and let's keep getting better. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
This program was refreshed by Coca-Cola and nourished by cowbell evaporated milk
and Checkers Custard.
Ramadan Kareem.